Imagine watching your Bitcoin crash, but it's not the market. It's banks pulling the strings behind your back. Want to know how they're playing you? Stick around. When Bitcoin was soaring to new highs, everyone thought we were heading to $150K, but now it's stuck at $85,000. Why? It's not a coincidence. Banks have figured out how to secretly control Bitcoin's price. The crazy part? They've been doing it for years, using legal loopholes to pressure Bitcoin holders into selling at a discount, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. And the real shocker? The same strategy used to collapse massive companies in the early 2000s is being deployed right now. Get ready for a mind-blowing reveal. Bitcoin, the digital gold that was supposed to change the financial world. It was meant to soar to the skies, especially with major institutions diving in. But something strange is happening. As interest rates skyrocketed in the US, Mexico's debt payments exploded. A chain reaction leading to disaster. But here's the kicker. This wasn't just Mexico. It happened to countries worldwide, creating what's called a debt spiral. And guess what? This same debt trap is being played right now. But this time with the largest Bitcoin holders in the world, including a company that owns over $60 billion in Bitcoin. Now, let's talk about the company that owns all this Bitcoin, the company that could be the key to understanding what's really going on. It's called MicroStrategy. On paper, they're just a software company, but when you dig deeper, you realize they're not a software company anymore. They've become a leveraged Bitcoin fund disguised as a corporation. And this is where things get really dangerous. MicroStrategy owns about 450,000 Bitcoins worth $45 billion at today's prices. But here's the problem. They didn't just buy Bitcoin, they've built their entire financial strategy on it. They've taken out massive loans through convertible bonds and preferred shares to finance their Bitcoin buying spree. They're sitting on unrealized gains, sure, but they also owe billions in interest payments and dividends around $700 million a year. And get this, they only generate $100 million in free cash flow from their software business. Not nearly enough to cover those obligations. So here's where it gets crazy. Their stock is trading at a premium, a $20 billion premium, based on the idea that they will keep buying Bitcoin, that Bitcoin's price will keep climbing. But what happens if that stops? What happens when MicroStrategy's stock price tanks? If the stock falls enough, MicroStrategy won't be able to raise more money to buy more Bitcoin. They'll be forced to sell the Bitcoin they've been hoarding to pay their mountain of debt. And guess who benefits from that? You guessed it, the banks. They're counting on this. They're waiting for it. The moment MicroStrategy starts selling Bitcoin to pay their bills, the price will drop. But here's the twist. The banks who've been waiting for this moment will swoop in and buy huge amounts of Bitcoin at a steep discount. They'll acquire Bitcoin at a price far lower than the market value, and then they'll sell it at a profit. This is the moment when they flip the game in their favor, pushing the price down, buying at the lowest point, and making billions. And the best part for them? They're doing it all legally. No one is breaking any rules. They're just using the financial system to create an artificial crisis, push the price down, and cash in. And the worst part? You, as a Bitcoin holder, are left holding the bag. Panic selling, losing money, while they buy in cheap and make a fortune. So what can you do? How do you protect yourself from this financial manipulation? Well, if you hold Bitcoin, it's time to make some serious decisions. Because knowing how the banks are manipulating the game could make all the difference. So we've established that the banks are pushing for Bitcoin's price to fall, waiting for the perfect moment to swoop in. But what does this mean for you, the average Bitcoin investor? How do you protect yourself from this game of high-stakes manipulation? When Bitcoin starts to drop, when you see red numbers all over your screen, what's your first instinct? You panic, you sell. But that's exactly what the banks want you to do. They want you to panic sell at the bottom so they can buy it from you for cheap and wait for the market to recover. And you lose out. But if you can control your emotions and understand what's really happening, you could walk away ahead in the long run. Professional investors don't react to short-term volatility. They analyze it. They know that markets go up and down. But the fundamentals of Bitcoin haven't changed. Bitcoin is scarce, decentralized, and here to stay. The market manipulation might be real, but the technology behind Bitcoin, that's the real value. But it's not just about holding. It's about positioning yourself. When the pressure on Bitcoin becomes unbearable, when the price drops even lower and lower, that's when the real opportunity begins. But not for everyone. For the savvy investor who sees through the manipulation, here's the key. Bitcoin's volatility isn't something to be scared of. It's a tool. If you understand what's happening behind the scenes, you can buy the dip, get Bitcoin at a discount, just like the banks want to. Imagine if you bought Bitcoin at $70,000, $75,000, while everyone else was panicking, believing the price would drop forever. That's how the banks play this game. And if you're smart, you can play it too. But here's the catch. You have to be patient. You have to stay calm when everyone else is losing their mind. Because while the banks are working behind the scenes, pushing Bitcoin down, the real winners are the ones who see the opportunity, not the danger. Here's where you stand. Will you fall victim to the short-term noise and sell at a loss? Or will you hold your ground, trust in the fundamentals, and wait for the market to recover? Because in the end, the banks want you to make the wrong move. Don't give them that satisfaction. Drop a comment below. Will you hold your Bitcoin or sell it? Are you ready to outsmart the system? Let's talk about it. Time is ticking, and the clock is counting down. Every day that passes brings us closer to a critical moment for Bitcoin. MicroStrategy has only about 20 months of cash reserves left. In 20 months, they could be forced to sell massive amounts of Bitcoin to keep afloat. This is not just a waiting game, it's a race. As the clock runs out, we're going to see some of the most intense volatility in Bitcoin's history. If MicroStrategy runs out of cash and begins liquidating Bitcoin, it will create a perfect storm. The market will crash, but those who understand the game, those who are prepared, will know this is the moment to buy in big. But this pressure isn't just about MicroStrategy. This is bigger. Institutional investors are watching, waiting for the right moment to pounce. If they see MicroStrategy in a vulnerable position, if they see Bitcoin's price dropping enough, they'll swoop in and buy up billions of Bitcoin at a discount. They won't wait for it to recover, they'll be ready to take advantage. Now, think about it from the bank's perspective. Why go through the trouble of buying Bitcoin at $100,000 when you can force the price down to $70,000 and buy it for pennies on the dollar? This isn't about belief in Bitcoin's future, it's about capitalizing on market manipulation. The banks are playing a game with stakes that could wipe out the average investor. And here's the worst part. This isn't some conspiracy theory. This is financial warfare. A fight for control of the largest decentralized asset the world has ever seen. You, the average Bitcoin holder, could be the collateral damage in this battle. If you panic, if you sell at the wrong time, if you follow the crowd, you could be handing over your wealth to the very institutions that are setting you up for failure. But there's good news. The way you win this game is simple. You hold and you wait. Don't let the manipulation cloud your judgment. Stay focused on the long term. Don't sell when the market is at its lowest. Hold your position and you'll come out ahead. Institutions don't want you to win, but you don't have to play by their rules. If you understand the game, you'll be able to play it better than they ever could. Now, I want you to make a choice. Are you going to let the banks control your future? Or are you going to hold your ground and make them regret underestimating you? If you're ready to take back control, comment below. Tell me, are you holding or selling? Your next move will determine your future. Type hold in the comments if you're ready to rise above the chaos. The future of Bitcoin is in your hands. The reality is, we're on the edge of something massive. Every day, Bitcoin's price is being manipulated, artificially suppressed by the very institutions that are supposed to be in Bitcoin's corner. But here's the thing. The more they push it down, the more they expose their hand. They're showing us their strategy, and it's up to you whether you let them win or not. While the market is volatile, you as a Bitcoin holder have the power to stay the course. You can either give in to the panic and sell, or you can hold strong and let the institutions show their cards. The truth is, Bitcoin's volatility is an asset. It's designed to test the mettle of those who believe in its long-term value. And if you're one of those people, this moment could be the opportunity of a lifetime. While the banks are leveraging financial pressure to force a drop in Bitcoin's price, they're creating a goldmine of opportunity for those who understand the game. The more they manipulate the price, the more they leave room for you to come in and buy at a discount. It's a zero-sum game. Someone wins and someone loses. Right now, the banks are trying to make sure you lose. But you don't have to play by their rules. The secret? Understanding the mechanics of how markets work. The more you understand, the more you can make informed decisions. Bitcoin is not just another asset, it's a movement, a revolution in decentralized finance. And those who are playing the long game, the patient game, are the ones who stand to gain the most. While the world is caught up in panic and confusion, there's an entirely different game being played behind the scenes. It's the game of patience, of understanding, and of holding on tight when everyone else is letting go. This is your chance to position yourself for massive growth, but only if you stay grounded, informed, and calm. The next 20 months could make or break you. You need to decide now. Will you fold to the financial giants manipulating the system? Or will you hold firm, trust in the fundamentals, and ride out the storm to success? The game is yours to win if you're smart enough to play it. Comment hold if you're ready to make the right move. Don't let the banks dictate your fate. The future of Bitcoin is in your hands. We've seen the manipulation. We've seen the strategies. And now, the question is, will you stand by and watch as the institutions play their game? Or will you rise above the chaos and claim your piece of the future? The truth is, every market faces manipulation. Every market. From stocks to commodities, history is littered with examples of major players orchestrating crashes, pushing prices down, and forcing people to make decisions based on fear. But what they never tell you is this: the real winners are the ones who see through the panic, the ones who know how to play the long game. Bitcoin isn't any different. What we're witnessing right now isn't a failure of Bitcoin. It's a test of your commitment, a test of your belief in what Bitcoin represents. It's about taking control of your own financial future, knowing that the ups and downs are just part of the ride. The key is understanding the rules, the way these financial institutions are trying to manipulate prices, and using that knowledge to your advantage. When everyone else is panicking, you will be the one who's calm, confident, and prepared. You'll be the one who sees the opportunity to buy the dip when the price is suppressed. You'll be the one who doesn't let the fear take hold, because understanding the mechanics of this game is your ticket to success. So, what's next for you? Will you let the banks dictate the game? Will you sell in panic when they push Bitcoin's price down? Or will you stand firm, trust in the fundamentals, and take advantage of what's coming next? The smart money isn't running scared. The smart money is preparing to buy. And yes, you have the power to join them, but it's all about mindset. It's all about knowing the game and playing it better than anyone else. Comment hold if you're ready to beat the system. Tag someone who needs to see this. Don't just watch history unfold, be a part of it. The future of Bitcoin belongs to those who can hold their ground. And that future, it's in your hands.